Hello, welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at another small block mining ship that once again puts the flush cockpit to very good use. And this thing is called the AM-33 Dewar Atmo miner, which is this lovely thing that I'm currently standing on top of. So this is a very small miner, very flush mining ship that features only AMSOC thrusters, it's powered by batteries, it's got a lot of great utility on here in the form of a reverse camera as well as a remote control lock to actually reverse the whole ship controls. So when it comes to docking up your connector, it's going to be like driving it straight forwards. So grab my character, put me into the cockpit, there we go, back into the free camera, press the F10, finding it in the spawn menu. The Atmo miner is 260 small blocks, using a bunch of the DLC packs. We see up here a small bit of information about it, including its block, its non-armored blocks, PCU, conveyors, thrusters, lights, spotlights, and everything else you need to know about this ship. Oh, a lot more going on all the way down to there. So giving this thing a thumbs up, we're going to be around towards the very front, have a quick look around the outside, go through the controls, test it out, then we'll see how it handles when it's all filled up with cargo, and well, if it can actually fly around properly. So at the very front here, for the Dewar Atmo miner, this is what we get. And that's a flush cockpit to drive this thing around, and if you do not know how to grab hold of the flush cockpit for whatever reason, you simply press escape, sign up to the newsletter right here. Once you're signed up, you get the cockpit, then you can unsubscribe whenever you want. Anyway, below that cockpit, we've got an event sucking auction from the surrounding areas. Make sure you don't suffocate while driving this thing around. Then down to here we see our ore detector to help go out and about and scout for ore patches, which is the main purpose of this ship. Moving all the way up on the left and right hand side, we see our drilling arms. All the way up to here we go, we've got a top mounted camera so we see a good view of what's going on ahead of us. There's an antenna right next to it. We see a large AMSOC thruster to keep us off the ground, as well as two more to help us slow down. Then putting away from here, moving around onto the side. There we go, so we've got a spotlight on either arm to help light up the darkness as we drill through the mountainside. And across to there, there's a connection point for the drill, so you can manually pull stuff out if you want to do that. Next to it is a small connector, one at the front, one at the back, on both sides, to throw out anything you don't want to collect. You can just switch that on with a click of a button from the cockpit. We'll see that a bit later on. Across to here, here's a blinking red light. On the opposite will be blinking green light. Up and above there is our angled floodlights from the new DLC pack. And towards the back there, some more AMSOC thrusters, then some fantastic use of our steel blocks and armored panels, just creating a nice little pattern. Around towards the very back of the thing, here we go, so we've got two gyroscopes, then 6 more AMSOC thrusters to boost us around, with a connector right at the very back. Moving all the way up, we'll then see our top mounted camera, which is how good to reverse this thing up, and thanks to the remote controller block, we'll be able to fly it around properly, so moving backwards will be moving forwards, and all of that. Moving all the way up and looking down, we then see all the gubbins of our ship, which have been partially covered up by some armored panels, and it's quite amazing how well the arm panels work. Just for a bit of extra decoration, we are only partly covering up the blocks below it. It works very, very well, especially when you're going for a more compact design. Anyway, there's our medium cargo container, so all our stuff inside. We see a bunch of batteries, a bunch of large batteries, our beacon, and then of course we've got some event controllers, which will tell you when your cargo space is full with an audio cue. So when you get up to a certain percentage, that'll then play out the sound block, and well, you know you gotta stop drilling. Anyway, towards the front, there's our flush cockpits. Then all the way down underneath the thing, there we go, there's our ore detector, there's the sound block, some more batteries, there's our large AMSOC thruster to keep us off the ground. We've got a few more bits of armor panels on the left and right hand side, just to cover the bottom of those batteries. Then towards the back there, there's your medium cargo container, more AMSOC thrusters, more batteries, and there's your connector. And there we go. That's a brief look around the outside of the AM-33 Dewar Atmo miner. It looks bloody fantastic how it's all been set up, and it's an absolute incredible design that when you just look at it like so, it's just so flush with how it's been set up, that it should work very, very well when coming up and drilling through a mountainside. Before we actually go and do that, read down the camera, bring up the HUD, these are the controls we get. So we'll start on tab number 1, which could be for taking over your drill, so your left mouse to actually collect stuff up, and right mouse to make a very big hole. Number 2 is then for your top mounted camera to get a good view of what's going on ahead of you. Then you've got number 3 for your AMSOC thrusters, the large one below you to turn it on and off. There we go. We then got number 4 for our left and right thrusters, so switching that off, moving left, moving right, nothing is going to happen, but we can still move forwards, can still move backwards, down and up. Switching that on, pressing number 5, this could be for your backward thrusters only, so moving forwards, we won't slow down. Very nice for a little cruise when you stay all full up and you're heading back towards your base and you just want to take your hands off the keyboard. Number 6 is then for your gyroscopes on and off, that'll switch off all the gyroscopes around the ship. Number 7 is for batteries to auto recharge, and that will show up the entire ship so there's no reactors giving it additional power. Number 8 is then for your small connectors to eject on and off, and then number 9 is for that connector at the back to lock and lock it. On to tab number 2, we then got a antenna, beacon, ore detector, lights all the way around the ship, a magnetic place below the ship, and then our connector at the back there to switch it on and off. On to tab number 3, we've got a remote control and connectors once again. We're going to ignore the connectors, pressing number 1, we now move backwards when we move forwards. There we go. And of course, we've got all the same controls once again, but this time, number 2, can be for your rear-facing top-mount camera. Now we can drive this around like a proper little ship. Backwards is forwards, forwards is backwards, left and right still work correctly, and of course down is up is down, and all is good with the mouse. So there we are, it's very handy for when it comes to docking this thing up, but do make sure you actually come out of the remote control block when you start to move this around properly, otherwise you could get into a pickle and slam into stuff. Anyway, hopping out of that, onto 4, nothing else, all the way across, nothing else going on with that, first person view looking down, there we go. I suppose now it's time for me to come up to the mountainside and start to drill it all up. So in third person view, going all the way up to this section, here we go, nice and slow. And there we go. Now I'm going to press the left mouse button and start to collect it all up. Moving forwards very carefully. And there we are. And I suppose what I could do is press number 5, switch off our forward facing thrusters, and now we're going to very slowly move towards the rocks. And now all we've got to do now is play out the audio cue to tell me that I'm full up, and I can just reverse this thing away and test out with how it feels. And there we go, the alarm sound has now started up, me shutting up for a second. There we go, you just about make that out. So I'm going to turn on number 5, reverse this thing out the hole. It's time to fly this thing around and see how it handles while it's all full up. So before I do that, into here, and hiding all the empty, as you can see in our flush cockpit we've got 2.7k, and then see in our connector 3.1, and then of course in our medium cargo containers we've got 9.12. We'll undo that one and actually do that. There we go, we now come all the way down, and see that our drill arm also have about 9k inside. That's jolly good stuff for a light bit of mining. Anyway, actually driving this thing around, here we go, moving forwards, and this is what we get. So ultimately, not too bad at the end of the day, means we've only got one medium cargo container on this, and we're storing a lot of stuff in our drilling arms, and of course cockpit and connector. And coming to a stop. Again, it's not too bad, we should easily be able to come to 0 meters per second, especially if we are playing carefully, not actually blasting around at high speeds. But still, if you are blasting around at high speeds, it stops in a reasonable amount of time, which is jolly good stuff. Moving left, and move right, getting some nice speed with that, very good for moving this thing around. Moving down, that's going to be gravity based, but then letting go of that, we are a lot slow. So we've got to be very careful with that if we are moving down at very high speeds. So we're trying to readjust this thing. Well, it's not going to be able to stop too quickly, so do be aware of that in case you do slam into the ground. That's for gyroscope controls, moving this thing around. Still, not too bad, like moving forwards and backwards, a lot of control over this, still a bit meaty when we're all full up, but still perfectly fine for a small ship and what it's trying to do. And with that, that's basically it. What the AM-33 Dewar Atmo miner has to offer. It's a fantastic little mining ship that has been designed to be able to go through the frostbite gate, so you do have that option if you want to use that as a hangar bay door. Other than that, it's a fantastic looking ship, it's very compact, very small, and puts the flush cockpit to very good use. And to end this video, as per usual, I'm going to slam it into the ground to see how it crumples. So here we come all the way down, and there we are, a nice big crash. The cockpit has been disabled, but a lot of the ship is still in one piece. All of our cargo seems to be in roughly one piece, at least in the container. No, at the end of the day, it's a fantastic little mining ship to use in your world. They'll be linked to it because you're below to download and play around yourself. Highly recommend you do. And I'll be back with another video sometime soon. Bye bye.